Hello, welcome to the Reach Digital Signage Tutorials.
Today we're going to focus on the calendar application. Now I am going to break this tutorial up into two parts. Today we're going to focus on how to create an event, understanding all the calendars and the groups, and of course going over permissions. The second tutorial will be basically about taking the events you've entered in and using our schedule widget and learning how to sort of stylize it so it looks good on the layout. One thing too, just before we sort of dig in here, is our calendar application can do integrations. Right now we can do a Google integration, we can do an ICS, or we can do an EMS. Now we can do other integrations, however they will just get pulled into our schedule application. This calendar platform is a little bit newer and we're still working on getting all the other integrations to sort of pull through. Alright, so to get started, the first thing you guys want to do is obviously create a schedule. Before we do anything on that part, I did create sort of a couple schedules just so you guys can see what it looks like when you do have multiple. I can navigate month to month if I want to. Otherwise, if I want to jump to a particular month, if I select the middle part here, I can just simply click on any of these, or if there's like a certain year, as we sort of end one year and kind of go into the next, I could also jump from year to year. Alright, we also have a week view, and then we have a day view as well. So I currently don't have anything running today. Obviously if I did, it would be established here, so we'll go ahead and jump back to the monthly view. Again, that is sort of your default setting there. So to go ahead and get started on creating a schedule, it's really up to you guys how you want to break your schedule up. So to give you sort of a scenario here, if I have multiple, categories of my schedule, so let's just say I was a fitness place, maybe I have a yoga class, and then I have a boot camp, and then I have a cycling. I can break those up individually and give them their own colors. And then from here you can sort of select, which ones if you just want to focus on that particular class. Or I can just create one schedule and have them all mixed in. It's really up to you how you want to establish that. To create your calendar, you want to go right up to here to the icon. It says Manage Calendars. You'll select that. And then you'll hit Create Calendar. And from here you can see there's certain fields to sort of pick from. Of course, just kind of start from the top and sort of work your way down. So for this particular, I'm just going to call it, a demo. Description is completely optional. Now this doesn't, if you enter something in, it doesn't get on the layout or won't, no one will see it. It's really just for you internally. The idea behind that is what if you have a couple calendars that are really similar, you could put a little description in there just to distinguish, which one's which. Color again, so if I click in here, I can choose the color palette. Otherwise, we just have some color icons that you can just pick on the fly. So it's completely up to you which route you want to go there. Local time zone, of course, that's kind of important. So we are Central Time. And then here we do have some templates. So the idea of the templates is really it's providing fields for you for when you enter your events in. Maybe all you care about is putting the event name and the location. Or maybe you want the event name, location, time. It depends sort of what kind of fields you want. And these are some preset templates that are available for you. Now we can create more templates. So if there's something in here that you're like, oh, I don't see something that I want, feel free to just give us a call and we'll go ahead and create a template for you. I would say most people will probably do name, description, and location, a time event, multi-day is a popular one, or time event location right here. So I'm just going to select this guy. As you can see, these are the fields that are going to be generated, or the fields that are going to be available for me when I enter my events in. Alright, so we'll go ahead and hit create now. Alright, so as you can see on the left side here, here's the calendar that I have selected, or I've created, I should say. Now the next step is, of course, is to enter the events in. Now you really can click anywhere on this calendar to start putting events in. Otherwise, you can see right here, it is grayed out, telling you that is today, and so you can just simply click right in here and start to go. It does, again, says when it is, and then one thing to kind of point out is that when you do have multiple calendars, it is important to establish where this event is going. If you just have one, of course, you'll never have to do this step, but because I have created calendars before this tutorial, I do need to tell the system that, hey, this event I'm about to enter in is going to go under the demo calendar. And then we'll just go ahead and fill out these other fields. So I'll just make up something here. Just say we'll have a corporate meeting. And then the location, I'll just put CR for the conference room. Now, if I hit create right now, this is going to create an all-day event. All right, so if I do that, I'm just going to, so you guys can see the difference here. It does say corporate meeting. That is an all-day event, though. If I want to modify this in any way, if I want to set some time to it, I simply can just click in here and then just hit more details. Now, this does bring up sort of more properties or more, I guess, functionality to the particular event. So now I can say, all right, well, this meeting is only going to be from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And now it does sort of automatically suggest that it's going to be an hour long. So that's kind of nice as well. If most of your stuff is an hour, it will sort of auto-populate there. I can change the name, I can change it, but I can also add a description too. So maybe I want to add like going over new features. All right, now I can hit update. And as you can see, now we have a 2 p.m. in front of it because it's not an all-day event now. I've actually went in there, I created the event, and then actually I changed it and gave it a sort of designated time. All right, so let's go ahead and add sort of another event here. So I'm just going to click on the next day, which is the 6th. And this time, instead of entering my information in here, I'm actually going to jump right into more details. And now if I sort of click this repeats, you can see that I'm having more options for my particular event. So obviously you can have something repeat daily. You can have it repeat weekly. And then you can also assign it to however many weeks. So maybe it's repeating, every 3 weeks on Tuesday and Thursday. You can also have it monthly. So if there's like the first month of every month or whatever, or the first Sunday of every month, you can sort of set these settings as well. And then of course we do have yearly. Second part down below, we have the no end date. So to give you sort of a scenario here, what if I have a meeting that's every Tuesday and Thursday and it's going to be like that for the rest of the year? Again, I could do weekly. I can choose Tuesday and Thursday. Of course, I'd want to establish, what time it is. But I don't want it to end. It's just going to be like this for, I don't know how long. I would definitely put no end date. Or maybe you want it to end after so many occurrences. Or maybe it's just until the end of the year. Again, so I have some settings if I want to kind of put an official end date on that. The nice thing too is it does give you a little summary. So as you're sort of hitting these sort of settings here, it will give you a nice summary of, when is this event going to run? Of course, I'll want to choose the calendar again. So because I have multiple, I do need to tell the system again that this event is running at this calendar. And then I just fill out this simple information. So I'll just kind of make something on the fly here. So developers meeting, location is going to be, again, the conference room, and description, let's just say a weekly meeting to catch up on new features. Here we go. All right, and I'm just going to hit create now. So what I have it repeating Tuesday and Thursday. I'm actually going to change to no end date just for this particular tutorial, and I'm going to hit create now. All right, so now you can see I've got this repeating. If I kind of go month by month, it's still staying static there. All right. So let's just say in the scenario here that I need to change one of these, okay? So for whatever reason, Tuesday's a really bad day, and I need to change the developers meeting from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. But it's only for this day. It's not for the whole series. So how I can do that, or how I can change this, again, I'm going to double click in here. And you can see now I've got some options. Do I want to modify the series, or do I want to modify just this particular event? Well, for this scenario, I just want to modify this particular day because for some reason this day just didn't work out. So what actually I'm going to do, instead of selecting this, I have to change the time as well. So I'm going to jump right into more details. And here I'm going to change it from, let's just say 2 p.m. To 3 p.m. And again, it's only for this particular day. It's not for the whole series. So I'm going to make sure I select this, and then now I'm going to hit update. So as you can see, it only changed for this particular day. So the second part we're going to tackle is the My Groups. Now, the groups is completely optional. it does depend sort of how your calendars or how your information is being split up. To give you sort of just a better scenario of what I'm referring to is, let's just say you have multiple calendars. So if you had like a yoga sculpt calendar, if you had like a boot camp calendar, if you had a rowing calendar, you had multiple calendars breaking up on, certain sections or events. You could create a group, or maybe another word would be like a folder or a bundle, and you can throw all those little calendars into that bundle. Then what you do is you take that bundle and you apply it to a layout. So what happens is the layout reads that schedule widget. It says, oh, okay, this person has a group. Okay, they have all these calendars that I need to make sure I show. So like I said, it's completely optional. You can just have one calendar and then just have that one calendar established on a layout. Completely fine. I think it really just kind of comes down to how your sort of calendar is structured. But if you do want to create a group, how do you do that is you come up to here, the Saints icon that says Manage Groups. So you'll select here, and then you will create and give this sort of a name. So for this tutorial, I'll just kind of keep it demo. And then these are all the calendars that you've sort of created. So the question is, okay, do you want to slide all of them into here, or do you just want like one or two? As you can see, here are the arrows to choose from. So again, for this particular tutorial, I'm just gonna slide all of them. And then as you can see, they all come into this right side here. And the last part is to sort of establish the rows. So rows is really, as a default, I would just do 100, 100. But again, to explain what this is that if we're going back to my scenario where I have a yoga calendar and I have a rowing calendar, if I have like 100 events within a week for that one particular class, or maybe like 20 a day, maybe I just want the 4 most recent events to always just be showing. I don't want all of that information running through my calendar. Maybe I think that's kind of a lot, so I say, okay, you know what, I only want the 4 more recent. That's what the rows is basically establishing. For yourself, if you're not too worried about that, then as a default, we just put 100. Again, but that is completely up to you, and feel free to sort of play around with that and see, kind of what you like there. So once you've entered some information here, the last thing you want to do is just hit create. All right, and on the left side here, it does show what you've just established. So what's kind of nice is if I hit demo here, it will show all of them. Again, or if I just want to unselect and focus on just one of these, then again, it will just kind of do that route right there. So the last and final part then is to go over permissions. So back to my calendars here, you can take certain calendars or you can hide certain calendars from certain users. So maybe they can see it, but they can't add anything, they can't delete anything, or you just hide the calendar, completely in general. That way when they log in, they can only focus on maybe 1 out of the 5 you have. So to do that, again, what you would want to do is that you'll want to select which calendar. So let's just start from the top. It says Workout Plan. And you can see now we have some tabs up here. Now the 3 parts right here, the 3 tabs integrations, this is actually for us internally. So if you guys do have an integration with us, this will actually be set up for you. So there's really no need to do here. But we're really going to just tackle on the permissions tab here. So as you can see, I do have a couple users here. And as if I select down, I can basically take the rights away. Maybe I don't want this user to, read or write or manage this particular calendar. So I just kind of go one by one selecting these settings based on sort of how I want to establish that. All right, that's the end of our tutorial. If you guys have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to our support by email or by phone call. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.